I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, welcome. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of Up Close and Personal with Angela on behalf of Aspiring Authors Magazine and the Crew Podcast. I want to thank you guys for joining us on today. I hear some echoing. I don't know what that is. I never heard that before. But y'all know technology and y'all know what we deal with on a daily basis. For those that do support us, know what we deal with. So I want to encourage you guys to go ahead and share this with someone in your circle of influence. And hopefully Emu they would get this together because they are really doing a number. I'm telling you. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but it's a lot of static in the background. But we're gonna try to move forward. We're gonna try to move forward. Y'all know me. I'd like to make sure that I'm representing my guests the best that I can. So I want to make sure that you guys, so those that are listening, if you would please let me know if it's clear to you because I don't want to bring my guest on and y'all can't hear her. So can y'all hear me okay? Just say put yes in the comment if you can hear me. Let me get on my other device really quick because I want to make sure we clear when I bring my guest up. I want to make sure we are loud and clear. So y'all give me a second. Y'all know I'm gonna work this out. Let me see what's going on here. Okay, it's clear. So I'm gonna bring her on up, y'all. I had to check, so I had to get on my other device, and I had to make sure. So I'm gonna bring my special guest up tonight. We have another amazing author. Not only is she a woman that's representing International Women's History Month, but she is also an author, y'all. So she's a part of the 100 author movement. So tonight we really gonna get a chance to dive in and find out about Miss Keisha Johnson McRae. So I'm gonna bring her up and allow her the opportunity to introduce herself. So let me bring her up and get her in the studio. All right. I don't know what's going on with this technology tonight, but you know what? We don't stop. We don't stop. Hey, how are you? It was like it didn't want you to come in the
Exactly. The
studio.
devil is a liar. We ain't claiming him tonight. Not at all. Not at all.
He was just being a little mess, but they know
That's
we don't
okay.
stop.
He
We
messy, but
keep
that's all right.
pressing and we
That's
keep pressing. That's what we do. So,
absolutely.
hello, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for this opportunity of sharing this time with you. I really, really appreciate you actually and all that you do. I just want to say to you from my heart to yours that I am very, very grateful to first of all to the Lord, my Lord Jesus Christ above for the opportunities that you persevere and give others, right? And give of yourself. But I also thank him for you saying yes and obeying, right? Being obedient to the call that's on your life because Queen Angela, you definitely have a calling. You had you on my mind today, and I was just saying to myself, and actually I was talking to my mother about you today, and I said, I don't know how she do what she do. I said, Ma, if you follow her, how does she do all these things by herself? And I had to realize that ain't nothing but God. So that is definitely your gift. This is definitely your calling that you're operating in. You know what I'm saying? So you're definitely on the throne right there, right there with God. You know, He's definitely pushing you forward and giving you the strength to do everything that you do. And I, from my heart, like I said to yours, I appreciate you for that. I really do.
Amen, amen, amen. And I thank you for that because it is nothing but God. And I often tell people, I do not work unto man, I work unto the Lord.
Hmm.
So therefore, I have no expectation from man because I know that it comes from above. So that's why I do what I do. And that's how I'm able to do what I do because I know it's not by my strength. Because who am I?
Right.
I have no power. I couldn't do this. So I know that it is He that operates within me. So yeah, I'm grateful, and I'm grateful that He allowed me to be in the midst of great people that make it so easy, that make it seem so easy. So it's all Him. It is
It
truly all.
is. It is, and I also want to say to you that, like the word tells us, many are called, but few are chosen. And I'm gonna tell you, you may be operating your calling, but you was chosen for this. So that's why you do what you do, and that's why you're able to do what you do by His unchanging hands. Because He's holding on to you. I tell you, because like I said, I look at what you do. Woo. And I said, Lord, and I said, Ma, she doesn't have anybody operating this with her but the Lord Himself. She don't have a bunch of assistants and workers and this and this and that. She may get some help here and there, but I do know you do this with your own hands, So you're definitely operating in the Lord's calling and being chosen to do what you need to do on this earth and walking in your purpose. I mean, that's all I can say.
Man, well, that's all I wanted to do.
That's right.
And I want it to be an outlet so that others can, share His goodness. It's with me. It's all about Him. And when I first started doing all of this, I used to tell people when I first started AALAC, and people used to come on my on whatever I was doing, and they would say, ask me questions or whatever. It was always I it's more than books. It's not about books, and God just began to show me that because when I started going live and started doing lives, it just like I would have a outline of questions that I was going to ask people, and He would just change everything. So that's why I stopped with the questions. I stopped with having to with sending people questions because they'll have their mindset to answer these questions, and then God's gonna take me a whole nother direction. Like it's like just listen to them. He tell
Yeah.
me just listen to them, hear what they have to say, and I'm gonna give you what to say back. So you don't have to have the questions. He said it's about relationship. It's about having conversation. So it's about us having a conversation. We get to know each other and we have
That's
those
right.
conversations. So I want to make people comfortable.
Right.
I want people to feel like, you know, they're at home with a friend, a sister, somebody that they can relate to. So that's how I got here. And I thank you for that because sometimes we need we need that confirmation.
Right.
And that was just
Absolutely.
confirmation on today. God just He'll send you a reminder. He'll send you someone to remind you of that you already know that He's
Right.
placed in you. But sometimes we allow our flesh to rise up, and then sometimes we just need that spirit man to come in and say, hey,
Right.
connect with your spirit man and connect with you, and then it goes down because sometimes you wonder if what you're doing, if
Hmm.
it's making a difference. Do it really matter? Do people really care? you know and it's not funny that you say that because even on the end of last week, I was having second thoughts about the 100 off the movement.
Oh.
I was really wondering, God, is this really what you want me to do? Because it's not. It's like the more I try to pour, it's like nobody is grabbing what I'm giving.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it's like it's valuable stuff that can help you, stuff that, and it's free. I'm not charging you for it. And it's just like people just looking at it and it's just being looked at and nobody is utilizing it.
Right.
And it just hurts my I'm not gonna say it hurts my heart, it saddens my heart that you present this, you lay it right there in front of them, and they won't take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have it, it's right here. Just step out and do it. Like I'm not gonna tell you something that I haven't done.
Right.
Like I'm trying to give you things that work for some of us that we know work. You know, right now I'm using stuff that I just learned in class.
Right.
I just got my MBA. So I'm trying to utilize some of these things that I've learned over these last 2 years of trying to get this degree. So I feel like if they say on paper that I know what I'm doing, then let me help you.
Right. That's right.
Let me help you. I graduated soon cum laude. Yeah, again. But
Bless.
ain't enough about me.
That's all
Ah,
right. That's okay.
you. So you are someone. I think we've been knowing each other about a year,
Yes.
maybe a little over a year,
Mm-hmm.
and you are someone that need to be writing. I'm like, she need to be writing. She need to
Mm-hmm.
be getting that stuff out. But you have written in some of my collaboration projects, so you have
Right.
been getting it out. But it's time.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. And God, I've gotten those confirmations even from my bishop. He didn't know exactly what was going on, but he told me it was time to move forward. Mom, people tell me God is telling me move forward. And sometimes we question, what does that mean? It's simple. I know what's going on in my life. I know what I need to be doing, and it's just I need to be pushing forward because God is not going to give me and give me these gifts. He's not going to put me through the trials and tribulations and have me overcome them to a degree to where I can't help nobody else and me feel like I'm less than or that I can't help that person when I had to realize that me being chosen to do what I do is because God saw it in me. God wouldn't have put it in me. God wouldn't have chosen me if he didn't think that I could handle it. He's not going to have me go out there and put things out there or speak or share, my testimonies and look like a fool. You know what I mean? I had to, but this is sometimes how the enemy, works. And
Mm-hmm.
I had to, and I'm still fighting. I could be authentic. I'm still fighting through that because I do feel that is a true calling on my life that Satan does not want to come to pass. And just having these opportunities, I had to realize like these opportunities are opportunities for you to help somebody else. You cannot um, do for other people, and you cannot share by holding it in. It's not for me. That's what I had to realize. That what I do and even what you do, it's not for us. We wasn't put on here for the purpose to serve for us. We was put on there. I do nobody no service. I do them a disservice by not sharing my life, sharing my testimony, sharing my brand, sharing what I do with other people when I know that it can practically and perhaps save somebody's life. I'm actually I feel that I had to keep this in my mind that I'm helping someone else commit emotional and spiritually suicide by not sharing what God has given me, because what I have could save some. What I say tonight or what I have said or what somebody has read, if I don't put it out there, how are they going to read it in order to have their life changed and experience transformation?
Exactly. Exactly. And I remember us having a conversation and you was telling me how you suffer with lupus
Mm-hmm.
and how when you went to the doctor there was no evidence, like they if the doctor said if he did not know you had lupus he would not have believed that you suffered from lupus, and
Yep.
I'm just like I'm like, people need to hear that.
Yes.
People need to hear that because I know plenty of people that suffer with lupus.
Me too.
Matter of fact, my niece suffered with lupus.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people that suffer with lupus, and some of them they have doubts. They listen to all the things that the doctor say, and they accept these
Mm-hmm.
different things. Like my niece, she just she won't try. And me and my sister, we get so aggravated sometimes because like I want her to get up. My niece has gained so much weight, and her weight go up and down because of
Mm-hmm.
all the different medications or
Medications.
whatever. And to me, every time I see her, I feel like she's just in so much pain, and it just hurts me because she's hurting, and I see her hurt. And whenever I talk to her, it's her son, which he said, "Mama's not feeling good today. She's laying down. It's always she's laying down.
Laying
She's not
down.
feeling good, you know." And he's like, "I'm trying to help take care of Mama today, you know." And I'm like, "Wow, that's not a
Mm-hmm.
way a child should have to live."
You're
So
right.
I'm definitely waiting for that book to come out because
Yeah.
you're gonna bless a lot of people when
Yes.
you share about, when you share about your condition, when you share about, how you're living with lupus and how you're still able to get out and do all of the stuff that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people, and it's a lot of us that we don't look like what we go through. We don't look like what we've been through. We
Right.
don't look like none of that stuff. But I tell people all the time, it took all of that to make us look like what we look
Mm-hmm.
like, though.
That's right. That's right. The struggle, the pain, and a lot of times, I was diagnosed. I'm 54 now. I was diagnosed with lupus a year after my daughter was born. So just imagine, a year after my daughter born, here it is. I'm told I have lupus. And first of all, when I was told and diagnosed, a whole year after I suffered the way I did with the pain, because I was like a walking they just couldn't understand what was wrong with me. I would blow up in the face. Mine would happen more in the face and was more physical with the chronic pain. They just could not understand what was wrong with me, and how I was diagnosed with through a rash they call the butterfly rash. It was a rash that would happen around the nose, and it was in the shape of look like a butterfly. And they took a piece of it. My grandmother, maternal grandmother, is diagnosed with it, and also my aunt. Neither one of them is with us at this time, but I'm the one standing with it right now, and the fact that I could, I like to show people, I like to show my family that lupus is not me. I don't have to. I have the diagnosis, but it doesn't define who I am. But at the beginning, it wasn't always like that. Me feeling and me knowing that. At the beginning, when I was diagnosed, I was a hot mess. I was emotionally distraught, overwhelmed, because I had a 1 year old to raise. And the fact that the doctor at that time, 1990, 1991, they didn't know pretty much how to deal with lupus, what to do, just smack us with some prednisone, and that was it. That's probably why
Mhm.
maybe your niece is blowing up, and gaining the weight on and off, because that's what happened with me. When I get on it, I would blow up. Then when I get off, I'm losing, so it was an emotional trauma with my body, with life, me raising mentally. I've been off, I was on 14 medications at one time between um, lupus and mental health. And I believe all this had to do with me thinking that lupus was going to be the rest of my life. And I had to live my life through lupus. So the pain I felt every day, I had to look forward to that pain. That's how I was living. And just imagine having a doctor come in a room to tell you the diagnosis. And he said to me that, yeah, you have lupus. He told that to me like he was telling me that, maybe I had a cold. He said, yeah, you diagnosed with lupus. And I just want to let you know that the lupus lifespan is 10 years. So I had to internalize that, and I had to realize why so many years I felt that I was going to die. I was going to be taken from this earth from lupus at age 40. I didn't realize that until maybe a few years ago, of what was internalized.
Mhm.
The way he told me what he told me, you had no reason to say to me, you had no reason to even give me that information, period. And I internalized that, and I lived a lot of my life thinking I was going to die at 40. So just imagine. Just imagine. And I had a 1 year old to raise. My daughter was 1 year old, when I diagnosed. And at 7, you know, my daughter was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. At the time, they call it juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. So now here I am battling lupus, but at the same time, I had to put that on the burner because I had to raise a child that I had to watch go through adult medication and chronic pain that I could do nothing about. I always had my spirituality, but I wasn't operating in the Lord like that at that age. I just took from my mother's and the people in my family that were saved, and I went on with I went on them. I went on what they perceived God to be. So that kept me, strengthened. And I know I was prayed over. So I was able to kind of overcome those challenges. But just imagine, this is why I think I'm so passionate about the caregivers, the parents, who are sick themselves with chronic illness, going through the chronic illness, and also at the same time raising a child with chronic illness, all mental challenges. You know, my daughter was a miracle baby. I always call her that. She was a miracle baby because I should have they by man and doctors I shouldn't have had no baby while I was suffering with lupus, but I wasn't diagnosed until after I had her. So what happened was I already had the lupus was operating in my body, but once I had her, the struggle of that and the different things that I went through and my body changing actually, it showed up,
Wow.
as the lupus. And then 10 years later, the same thing with my son. I had to suppress the lupus again. And mind you, I'm still on all these medications. I'm still going through the pain. I'm still going through. I had to raise my son, who was diagnosed when he was 7. I said, I don't know what it is, Lord God, you have me with the sevens, with ADHD. Later to find out that I suffer for the symptoms, as well. So this is why, I find in my lifetime I had to sit back and say, well, okay, Lord, what am I to do with all of this? What did you do for me? I had to sit back and say, the Lord saved me from a lot of emotional distress. He healed me a lot emotionally, because I felt like I was going to lose my mind, but I did not. Suicidal ideation. I can look back on all of that. I'm also I guess you would call it a sexual assault survivor. I experienced that for somebody I trusted. So all of this, and here I am today. And a lot of it, like you said, Angela, people don't know. And
Mhm.
it's like, God, is why are you not telling this story? Why are you not telling these stories? Right? These are all a part of you that people could use. Because I allow people to tell me that it's too much. It's a lot, you know. You can't talk about all that. You got to stick to one thing. So I got stuck in that. I think that's what it was too. It's like, okay, what do I talk about? I talk about all of that.
Yeah, you talk about all of that because all of that is you. Like, you know, people wonder why I've never wrote a memoir
Mm-hmm.
because it's so much.
It's too much.
Like,
Yep.
I'm if in these 100, I tell people, if you want a memoir, go pick up some of these 131 pieces of work I got out here, and you can find
That's
out a little bit
right.
about me in every piece of it because it's a piece of me in all of them. So you learn bits and pieces here and there, but along the way you get a story of who I am. So it's never too much. You can put it all over the place. You can put it in so many different formats, so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a journey that so many people need and want to hear. We often have that. Don't nobody want to hear that. Yeah, that be them imps wanting to tap
Right.
into. Yeah, that be them imps wanting to tap into what they know God
Right.
has already placed on the inside of us, but they can't stop that
Right.
because um he gonna continue to place you. He gonna bring you if you want to deny it. He gonna put you in the presence of people that's gonna pull it up out you.
Yeah.
Um, and you're gonna be forced. Like my friend, my prayer bestie Cheniera, in her for 5 years. When you gonna do that book? When you gonna do that book? So she
Mm-hmm.
decided that she was gonna do the book. Um, in January, we had a release party last weekend.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I saw it on social media. It was beautiful. Yes.
So it took a minute, but it
Yeah.
took her 5 years. But
Hmm.
when God spoke to her and told her now it's time, then she moved.
She moved. Yep.
She moved,
Yep.
and it didn't take long. It didn't take
Mm-mm.
long.
Mm-mm. Once you get that
And
fire back, once once the Lord you realizing and He really you get that fire back, it's no stopping because to tell everybody the truth here, I had wrote a book in 2014. I wrote a book called Life After Diagnosis. And when I wrote that book, I was still struggling a lot, but I knew I had overcame a lot when it came to lupus with some things that I could tell people how to cope. At that time, I was more into like, let me help people cope while they have lupus. Let me give them that hope in that way because there's a lot of people with lupus and with these mental challenges. They just don't know how to cope. They just think they have to just stay in the realm of the disease or the mental challenge, and that's all they know. So I said, let me write what actually helped me cope so I could live, so I could take care of my kids, so I can do what Keisha wants to do. And what
mhm,
happened was, being that I was at the time I was struggling a lot with the ADHD. So I had no direction at all. I wasn't following the way to do it the way the Lord was telling me to do it. And I did write. Everything was from me. I wrote everything. But I had someone publish it for me, and I think like at that time, you want to be. Sometimes some people want to do multiple things, and that's fine. But we really need to find that somebody that's perfected in these certain areas in order for things to be a success. And the book just didn't work out well at all when it was uploaded on. It was uploaded on Amazon and everything. And the
mhm.
Lord said to me, Keisha, once I got one kind of iffy review, the Lord said, Keisha, download your book. I said, that's a good idea. Let me go with audio. What is it? Audible. Let me download my book from Amazon. Girl, I download that book. And you know how a book that has a message, even if there's grammatical errors, people could just overlook that because the message is so strong. There was no way those grammatical errors and different things was going to be overlooked because I didn't know what soft editing was. I didn't edit it. I didn't write like that. So someone did a soft edit. It wasn't really a full edit of my book. And I let them, put it up. So I kind of got stuck from there. I was devastated. I was worried about I was doomed before anybody even knew who I was because of the book. The book is not up. And I just revisited it a couple weeks ago. I said I still have this book, and I said to myself, I said, okay, Lord, I'm ADHD, emotional wellness, lupus. What do I need to share? You know, and He let me know. You operating where I'm operating in where I need to operate in, but I do need you to let people know how you overcame what you came and your lupus journey. Because every group, Angela, that I get in, it's depressing. It's no hope in these groups because everyone has lupus and that's what they focus on. Because some people are going through so much, but they don't have anyone pouring into them on a positive note. So I said, that's me. That's me, God. You telling me that's me. So I can't let 2014, what He saved me from in 2014, keep me from doing what He needs for me to do now.
Right. Wow. That's
Hmm.
powerful. Um, and that's often the case when you go in these
Hmm.
groups, especially when you go in groups where everybody have similar or the same conditions.
Yes.
And instead of us trying to pour into each other to lift each other up, it's just like we trying to get a pity party. Like we just trying to have that.
That's
We
what it is.
just want everybody feeling sorry for. I don't want nobody to feel
Yep.
sorry for me.
Absolutely. Hmm.
Because I tell you, people don't know. They don't know the struggles of sciatica. They don't know the struggles of PTSD. They don't know the
Mm-hmm.
struggles of, and everybody have it in their own different
No
ways.
way.
But you see me on here, you see me. I have all kind of things that I use when I'm not online.
Right.
I got a massager.
I know
I
that's
got
right.
I got two different heating pads. I got
Mhm.
a super large one that fits across my big old pillow, and then I got a little small one that sometimes I just need to just be able to slide it up under my clothes,
Yes.
be able to put it in the back in my back up under my shirt
Ooh.
sometimes. So people don't know what we go through, but
Mm-hmm.
yet we show up and we try to be intentional about those things, because being intentional, and I did a lesson this morning about the power of being intentional and understanding that when you are intentional about that thing, God will open up those doors. When
Absolutely.
I was on my bed of affliction, I was like, okay, Lord, I don't want to do this. There's something I got to be, there's got to be something. There's got to be something. So when he raised me up off my bed of affliction, I came back to Facebook
Mm-hmm.
and I started just going live. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was just going live every day, just talking to people. And
Yeah.
I said, well, you know what? Start interviewing people. So I just started interviewing people. Didn't know nothing about nothing, just started interviewing people. And then guy saw me. I went on another person's podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and I went on that Friday. That Monday, they was calling me, asking me if I wanted to be a host. And
Wow.
I've been over there 5 years. I celebrate
Wow.
5 years.
Yes.
Next
Praise God.
next month, I celebrate 5 years. It's something about them fives too.
Yeah. Yes. And that
It's
was
something
my.
about them fives too, because I'm gonna be 50 on the
Yeah.
first.
Okay. Okay. Mm.
And then I celebrate my 5 years over there on
Sorry
over
about
there
that.
on one network. And then we celebrated 5 years for the prayer line in
Uh
February.
oh.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Cause I don't know. Something happened.
Well, we could see you. See how the enemy be working? See, she was helping some folks, y'all, with her testimony. She was helping some people that was going through. And the enemy, we still can hear you, but we can't see you. And it had to come in and mess with her phone. But she'll be back on. She'll be back on. When she come back on, we will bring.
Can you hear me? Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
I can hear you.
I'm back. I'm back. Okay. Oh, okay.
So yes, I tell you, enemy be busy. But
Yes,
Sister
you do.
Cheryl is on. Sister Cheryl is one of our prayer warriors. That's in the on the prayer line in the mornings. She also has lupus. She's
Okay.
a lupus. She's had cancer.
Wow.
She's a 2 years in remission from
Oh,
cancer,
my God.
and then they diagnosed her with
Lupus.
40% of her heart use of her heart.
Mm. Okay.
Something going on with her heart, but we don't claim none of that. And the
Mm-mm.
last time she went to the doctors, the lupus doctor, they told her, them people told her that they don't did all that they can do for her. I said, you know what? When she told me that, I wanted to tell her maybe that was a good thing, because
Right.
they can't do nothing for you no way, because it's God gonna do it for you just
That
like He did.
absolutely.
I'm believing. When you told me what happened to you, and what did
Mm-hmm.
I tell you? I said I know a lady, and I said I need you to tell her your story,
Tell her my
because
story.
I
Yep,
need
you
her.
sure
Yeah,
did.
that's her.
Yes.
That's her.
Yes.
She's listening.
Yes.
That
Yes.
is her.
Yes. That was. Let me
Because
tell you.
I want her to know that Forget what them doctors said.
That's
Because you
right.
know what them doctors got. You know what them doctors are. Those doctors are licensed to practice. That means they got
Exactly.
a license to practice.
Right.
That means they
Right.
practicing on you. They don't know for sure. And don't
Mm-hmm.
nobody know for sure but him up there.
That's
He the
right.
only one know because
That's
he
right.
created all of us. And guess what? He can change anything at the blink of an eye.
That's
At the,
right.
and over there in Proverbs 21, one of them proverbs over there, he say that the rivers of water flows in the king's hand. He can
That's
turn
right.
whichever way he want them to flow. The power lies in the king's hands, and he can turn the rivers of water whichever way he
Yes,
wants
he
them to flow.
can.
So that
Yes,
means he can
he
turn
can.
anything around. Them
Yes, he
doctors can
can.
give us all the diagnosis they want. They can
Yep.
tell you whatever they want. I'm telling you, ain't that to nobody. And I'm telling you, I'm watching a lady right now
Mm-hmm.
defy everything that the doctors don't told her.
Mm-hmm.
If she had to listen to the doctors, she would have
Mm-hmm.
been gone 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If
That's
she had to
right.
listen to them doctors, she would have been gone.
Jesus. Mm-hmm. That's right.
That's why my prayer is that God would show people how to naturally go
Yes. That's
into
right.
that word and find the healing. Because
That's
it
right.
can be done.
It can.
There's a chiropractor. There's a guy in Texas. He's a chiropractor.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going to school to be a medical doctor. That's what he was
Okay.
going to school for. And then midway, he said the Lord spoke to him and was talking about natural stuff. And he
Mm-hmm.
changed and went the chiropractic route. And he wrote a book. He fast and pray. He talked about fasting and praying, baby. Fasting and praying.
I know that's right.
A
Amen.
chiropractor, a doctor. He'd show you how you can fast and pray and how you can put the plate down and turn
Yeah,
from
but that's
all of that
it.
stuff.
That's
I
it.
say one good thing I can say, and I can apply to all those people that think I just really don't like Trump and I hate Trump. Let me tell y'all,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love what he doing with these pharmaceuticals. How he taking all that these ads and stuff. They ain't gonna be able to run all them ads and stuff. Now Trump, I applaud you for that.
Right.
Hats off. So they can't flaunt all their drugs around here and their chemicals
Right.
around
Right.
here. Now
Right.
do some more stuff. Do some more good stuff like that, and I'm with you.
Right.
But as long as you're doing that foolish stuff, I can't. But I'm with him on that. That is something that I am. Pharmaceuticals, they of the devil because
Right.
it's
Mm-hmm.
nothing but pushing who can push this and who can push that, and all they doing is generic and this and this and getting all our money. When you go over to these other places, you go out to these other places, China and all these people, they ain't sick and in the hospital like that. And they can get
No.
free. They
Right.
got free. They get free health care.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That
Yep.
you can give people free health care because why? They don't be sick
They
and in
don't
the
get
hospital like
sick.
that.
Yes. Yep. You're right, Angela.
So
Yes, you're right.
why we over here
Sick.
get sick?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because they killing us. They with the
Mm-hmm.
spraying in the air. All
Mm-hmm.
the stuff they spraying in the air. I watch them every day spray stuff in the air out here. I don't
Wow.
live. I watch them every day.
The
Just spray
food.
in the air, and then when it rain, it just it don't even look like rain. Like when it
Right.
snowed, we had a mat that was laying on our porch when it snowed. I can go out
Mm-hmm.
there right now and still see the residue from when it snowed
Mm-hmm.
back then, y'all. It's like plastic stuck in the what's the names. That
Right.
ain't snow. And then you had people around here flaming up snow. How can you flame up snow?
Right.
So
Yep.
you can tell it's
It's
stuffed in
so it's
chemicals.
deeper.
And then you got to think about, and then they saying, oh, people naturally growing stuff. They really not naturally growing stuff
Mm-hmm.
because if y'all putting chemicals in the air, then
Mm-hmm.
guess where those chemicals got to go?
Gotta go.
Just like all those aircrafts that them satellites that they keep sending up there. We're gonna hear soon that there's a whole bunch of falling stars. Stars are
Hmm.
just falling. Them ain't gonna be no falling
Lord
stars.
have
Them gonna be
mercy.
them satellites falling from that sky that you gonna put up there.
Lord
It ain't when it
Jesus.
got them. And you put them up there, and you think they supposed to just stay there? They're not gonna stay there forever. They got to come back down. And where they gonna come? Gravity gonna pull them right on back down here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I tell you, Lord help us. I tell you. That's why we have to be educated, and we definitely have to know things for ourselves and stop depending on what we're being told. We have to start
Exactly.
looking into these things, reading, and and also, like you said, being in our word, and just
Mhm.
knowing more, because otherwise we're not going to make it. A lot of us is not even going to be here next year if we continue in not knowing. We got to understand, especially with our bodies. And I've fallen short, of the glory too, because I'm putting things in my body and I know it don't belong in there. But you live and you learn, and at the same time, I have to understand that this is not my body. This is God's temple, and the
Mhm.
way I operate in it. You know what I'm saying? Is what's going to keep me here longer, and what is going to keep my body healthy. So I'm more cognizant now, especially with lupus, and even with different with the ADHD. Our our meals play a big part in all of it that we
Mhm.
put in our body. And with lupus, it's still a disease that's it's more understood now, but not. It's still hard to, um, in some ways, diagnose. But they just do know a lot more than they did like when I was diagnosed. Because my
Right.
grandmother was diagnosed. Oh my God, years and years and years ago, when they didn't even have a cure. They didn't have nothing. So for me, my grandmother looked like she was burnt, because my grandmother had the lupus of the skin as well. So it showed. She had an outer showing, on her skin. So that's all I saw, because that's all I knew. So when I was diagnosed, what's the first thing that devastated me? I'm going to look like my grandmother, right? I didn't know anything about lupus. The first time I ever heard of lupus was when I saw my grandmother had it, and she said, "I have lupus." Never knew what that was. I was young, 19 years old. I didn't dig into seeing what that meant. Or when I was younger, watching people look at her and frown their faces up at her. She was a strong woman, because that didn't phase her, you know. But at the same time, it did me, because as a little kid, and then grow up to hear that I have that, I'm going to look like my grandmother. But then come to realize she had the lupus of the skin. The lupus that I was diagnosed with is called systemic lupus, and that's more internal. That it's a possibility that things more internally go on, and where the disease could hit my heart. Your friend would notice too, your heart, your organs, and different things like that, because it's the
Mhm.
body fighting itself. It's an autoimmune
Right.
disease. That's what it is.
Right.
It's an autoimmune disease, just like fibromyalgia. Autoimmune, your body fighting itself. Your body fighting your good stuff, your good bacteria, your good tissues, your
Right.
good cells. And all of it is, all that the steroid is doing is just calming down your immune system, which can be a good thing, a blessing and a
Mhm.
curse. Because what happens is, when your immune system calms down, it causes you to be viable to catch everything else, and your body is not fighting it anymore. So what happens? You get these other diagnoses or other things going on with you, and it hits you like fire. So like you saying the story about when I went to the doctor. Lord have mercy, when I went to that doctor, he kept saying to me, "How long you been coming to me?" And God, since I was like 19 something years old. He said, "How long you been coming?" He said, "Now you was diagnosed." He said, "But you've been coming recently, and everything, my ANA, my blood work, things that should be positive, has been negative." And when he said that to me, I all I could do was praise God. And I said, "My mother said to me, a woman of God, she said, I ain't never believed you had it in the first place." So that belief in her head, it's stuck. Like, she don't have it. They just going through
And
the
I'm telling
motions.
you, they tried
Mm-hmm.
to give it to me, baby. Honey, they tried to give it to
Mm-hmm.
me back in whenever I refused to accept that.
That's
My
right.
mom passed away. My mom passed away with complications from lupus in 1991.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what it
And
is. Yep. Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
2000 2009, I want to say it was 2009. um I had a bad swelling in my foot. I couldn't even put my foot on the ground. I could not walk.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do
Mm.
nothing. And it was so sore. And when I went to the doctor, they asked me, had I twisted, had I sprung it, had I done
Right.
anything like that? I told them no. And they ran tests, and they ran tests. And the doctor told me, he said the only thing that he could see is that my immune system was fighting itself. That's the only thing that he could see.
Wow. Yeah. Mm.
So that was that. Um, I don't even know what he did. I don't remember what he did or what we
Mhm.
did,
Mhm.
but I know I was okay,
Mhm.
and they never nothing else. I know I was not finna. I wasn't even thinking about asking him to run no test for lupus because I wasn't finna take that
Right. Mhm.
because I knew I knew my mom
Had it
had
right.
dealt with that.
Right.
So I was
Right.
like, I know I don't have nothing. I've always I was an athlete in my
Okay.
younger days. So
Got
I
you.
played sports and stuff. So I've never been sick. I never had my blood pressure had always been 120, 118
Right.
over
Mhm.
80 and all it was always around the normal. Nothing was got out normal and had that episode and then now it seemed like when I got shot, when I was in domestic violence and I got shot, it seemed like
Mhm.
that's when
Mhm.
everything that could
Started.
have thought it want to start acting up. I
Mhm.
sciatica, I started having problems, but I refused to accept any of that stuff. I said, you know what?
That's
I
right.
say when it's warm out, I get out there and I walk and
Mhm.
I try to keep active. I try to make sure that
Yes.
I'm eating right. A lot of stuff like we don't process food.
Right.
It's a lot. We
Yes, a
really
lot.
should not be dairy products. We should not be
Mhm.
consuming dairy products.
Mhm.
Dairy products are not good for us.
That's
Dairy
right.
products will help will cause excess fluid,
Mucus and
phlegm,
mhm.
mucus,
Mhm.
all of that.
Yep.
Our body's supposed to have some mucus, but it's not supposed to
Not.
have
Mm-mm.
excess. It's
Right.
when we
Right.
drink all that milk and that dairy product, then your body begin to have excess. It begin to have
Exactly.
more than it's supposed to have. And then that is what causes a lot of our diseasement, which
Mhm.
they have labeled diseases.
Diseases.
But they're not diseases,
Right.
they're diseasements because
Mhm. I like that. That's right. That's right.
it's causing you to be at a place of being not at rest.
No.
You're
Mm-mm.
stressed, so you're
Fighting.
at dis-ease.
Mhm.
So I keep telling people, um, get you a natural remedy. It's
Yes.
okay. It's okay to come off. I said when summertime hit again, I'm going on I'm gonna try to get back on my vegan watch because I was doing good.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I do good.
Yes.
I be doing good. But I sometimes I want me a little chicken wing every now
Right.
and then. But I said, with seeing all this stuff that I've been seeing here lately, honey,
Jesus.
I
Mm.
I think I can do without. You give me a good salad, honey. You put you some mushrooms up in there, and
Right.
put you
Right.
some fruit up in there, honey. You get to chewing on that stuff. It tastes like meat.
So
The
it's good.
mushrooms,
Yes.
if you,
Yes.
mushrooms, I'm telling you that's the alternative to a lot of the meat that you be wanting. You can
Yes.
season them, and depending on what kind of mushrooms you get too, because you can get them big old thick mushrooms, and you can cut them
Mhm.
things like steaks, and you can cut them like all kind of stuff, and you can season them up to make
I like to consume natural things with mushrooms because I don't eat mushrooms, but I
right.
consume the coffee. I consume things with the mushrooms in it because the mushroom, certain mushrooms has very a huge amount of health properties,
Mhm.
and healing properties in them. So you're right when you say
Yeah,
mushroom.
I used to not
Yeah,
like them, but I learned
you
to like
learn.
them
Yeah,
because
yeah.
yes, I learned to I cut them up in my salad, and that be
Okay.
my meat. That be
Right,
my
that be
meat.
your meat. Well, I'm gonna try. I never tried that. Like to put
And
them in
I
my
season them
salad.
up. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
season everything, but
Yeah.
I put right. My mushrooms be my meat, and then I have I like to get me some. I like cranberries
Mm-hmm.
or either
The
raisins, and then I
raisins.
get like I like sunflower seeds.
Those.
Um,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and sometime I may get some almonds or either some walnuts. I like walnuts too, but I just like different kind of dried fruits and
Yeah.
different stuff that I can just drop
Yes.
in the
Yeah.
salad. Even I even take some oranges every now and then and just
Mm-hmm. They're
make
good.
me a yeah, just put me a peel of orange and just on some
Just eat.
lettuce and just put me some and that's my salad and it ain't got to be no
And that's
and
it.
that'll fill me up. You get
Mm-hmm.
me some honey, I'm talking about you get me some spinach and some
Mm-hmm.
that spring mix and spinach. Honey,
Right.
I
Yeah, I
eat
know
that
what
and
you
put
mean.
me some
Mm-hmm.
yes. And then I love I've started eating broccoli raw. I'm not too
Okay.
fond of it cooked all the way.
Cooked.
Now, if
Okay.
you lightly cook it where it still got a crunch to it, I can eat that. But when
Okay.
it's soft, I don't like it when it's soft.
And actually that's me because I eat the it got to be soft like a baby, but I got to realize we got to realize the more that soft it is, it's not doing anything for your body because you're
The
taking out
more,
the health.
yeah, the
Yeah,
rawer it
the
is, the
raw.
better
Yep.
it is.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I've learned to eat that raw. I've learned to
Right.
eat cauliflower raw. And I just cut
Which
them
is
up in
good.
salad. Cut it up in a
Right.
salad.
Cut it up in a salad.
You
Yep.
know,
That's true.
and you can eat it raw. But if you
That's
can't
true.
eat it raw, um, I get the cauliflower rice, and I
Mm-hmm.
use that sometimes to substitute for regular rice,
Okay. Okay.
because that
I never
white rice
heard of that. Okay.
that white rice is not good for us.
No, it's not. Mm-mm.
Brown rice or black rice,
Oh, black rice.
and
Okay.
it's hard to find black rice.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I ain't had a good time finding it. So brown rice,
Brown
but
rice. Brown. Yeah.
mm, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna be looking forward to hearing your journey and
Yes.
getting it out and sharing, because like I say, people gonna want to hear it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
oftentimes we think that nobody wants to hear it, and people tell you, don't nobody want to hear that, don't nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, they saying it because they probably got something that they want to share and scared to share,
And
or
scared
don't
to
know
share.
how to do it and don't want you
Yep.
to. And yeah, that's normally what it is. Because
That is so true.
you'll have family members saying, "Why you gonna tell all that? Why you putting all that out there?" Because somebody need to know. Because
Yeah.
somebody need to come out of
Yeah.
what they going through. Because
Right.
somebody going through this too. Because guess what? Everything that we go through, we don't go through because we supposed to go through it for us. We going through it for somebody else.
That's
Okay,
right.
but we got to know how to get through it so that we
Get
can
through
help
it.
the people coming behind us. And
Yeah.
he know who can handle what. He know who can handle
He
what.
he do.
I'm
He
telling you,
do. Yeah. You know, and
he ain't drop us out the sky.
mm-hmm. And the blessing for me is, I do have a great support system. I do have, a lot of cheerleaders, family members, and close friends, or who friends, sisters that are like, as if my mother birthed them themselves. So my family is very supportive. It's always be like those outsiders who you hear them, people saying this and that, and I'm glad I am at a point in my life where that doesn't matter to me. I think I'm my biggest critic. I'm my biggest fight. I'm my biggest, setback. So it's me versus me fighting myself, and I just have to lead with what the Lord tells me, and then I know I'll be okay. I'll be fine.
And we just gonna have to we're gonna have to get in that mirror, and we're gonna have to talk to ourselves. Cause that's what I had to do.
Absolutely. In the
I'm just
mirror,
gonna
just
have to
talk to you.
be
That's
honest.
right.
Cause I had
That's
to get in
right.
that mirror, and I had to tell myself, hey Angela, you need to snap out of that. You
Yeah.
need to do this, you need to do
Yep.
that. And literally I had to get in that mirror and look at myself.
It's
Like
true.
look
It
in
is
my
so
eyes
true.
and
That's
talk to
right.
myself. People may think I was crazy for doing it, but I
Mm-mm.
had to do it. I
Mm-mm.
had to do it. And I every
Mm-mm.
day I would stick post-it
And it
notes
works.
on
Yep.
my thing. I would have post-it notes all around
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
my room, and I'm talking about every time I would just say something. Okay, Angela, you got to do this, you got to do that.
Yeah.
I go back and I look at. I think I still have my vision board from when I first started doing a lot of this stuff, and just to be able to look and to
Right.
see the things that you have accomplished. Like when he say write the vision and make it plain,
Make
I
it
see
plain.
why he say write the vision and make it plain, because if you
Plain.
write it, when you write it and make it plain, then you can see
Right.
where you can
You
see.
can see
And
it.
then
Yep.
not only that, when you write it, it becomes it's like it get in the atmosphere. When you start writing it down,
Writing it. Yep.
you when your emotions,
Mm-hmm.
the motions, that
Yes.
it's like it does, that vibration does something. So
Mm-hmm.
then just the fact that you put it down on
Put it
paper,
down.
that you got it out and you put it on
Put
paper.
it on paper.
Now
Yep.
somebody can see it. Somebody may run across it. Somebody may see it and say, "Oh," and then you might read it, and it may resonate something else in you, and then you might do
Mm-hmm.
something else.
Mm-hmm. Do
Like
something else. That's right. That's
I'm
right. That's
telling
why I
you,
think, Angela, I'm
it's
gonna have
just
to get with you on there, helping me. Because I know you help people write their books and publish the books. So I'm definitely we definitely gonna get together with me on that. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
But
Yeah.
we definitely and not only that, you are part of the 100 author movement,
Yes.
and there are so many other individuals that they got the same gifts I got.
Mhm.
They know the signs. Trevita, I'm gonna put them out there. I'm gonna tell you who they are.
Mhm. Mhm.
You can't get me. You got Trevita. Trevita does public, and she's also a host over here on the network.
Okay.
She's a publisher. She published and she's a coach. So she
Okay.
help you coach. And then if you need an editor, she do edits too. So
Look at that.
she can do it front to back. So I told her, I said, anytime I need edits, I'm sending them over there to you because I don't do
Right.
that.
Right.
I don't do that.
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
sending them to you.
That's
And
right.
once I send them to you, they yours.
That's
she
right.
she I it's in a whole nother story. That's a whole nother podcast. I ain't even gonna say that because that's a whole nother podcast. That's a whole nother
Whole
podcast.
another one,
I
right?
want to hear from you because you are part of this 100 author movement. What
Yes.
are you expecting to gain from the 100 author movement?
Well, community, um, collaboration, connection. You know, those are huge for me. Um, and within myself, helping me to be more committed to the things that I need to be doing. So I know within the grasp of all of these other authors, you know, I can't, there's no way for me to fail because the support is there. The network is there, right? The people I need to know are there, and what I love about them, because even I'm in the chat, I'm going to, make it my business to be more active in there because, all of our words and all of our whatever we need, whatever we have to add matters. You always say that, so I know for a fact that the people in there, they cheer each other on. They throwing in opportunities. They're showing up and giving people some things that they can get involved in. And I'm saying to myself, wow, like look at this. Like I couldn't be in, the Lord could not have equipped me to be with a better bunch of people. And not only that, a lot of them, are believers. So, because I love to surround myself around believers, because when I talk and when I speak, I'm always going to mention the Lord. So I want people to be able to relate to that. But wherever they are in life, I can see that they are very cheerful cheerleaders. So I cannot want anything more, but we already have the respect for each other, because I could not want anything more but the collaboration, connection, with these people. So I look forward to that, because I know with that alone, where it's going to lead every single one of us, if we tap in the way that we should.
Amen. 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 It's
Hmm.
but we have to do the work.
Got to
We
do the
have
work.
to do the work. We have to do the
We
work.
have to.
He is providing. He's going to provide us the outlet and the resources, but we
Yes.
have to do the work too. Faith without works is dead.
It's dead. Yes, it is.
So we can believe all day,
All day.
but if
Yep.
we don't do the work, it does not matter.
It doesn't matter. Mm-mm.
Because I'm telling, just like I'm reminding people my faith. I heard I think it was Juanita Bynum. She gave this scenario about a chair and being in a carryall. She said when you were young, she said your mom put you in a carryall. She used to sit you on the floor and rock you. She said when you got a little older, she moved you up to the little red chair. We call it the little red chair.
Right.
You got to sit in the little red chair. And then when you got a little older, you got to move on up to the high chair. You got to move up and sit
Mm-hmm.
in the higher chair.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite at the table yet, but you got.
Right.
And
But
then when you got old enough, you didn't need your mama to help you no more. But
that's right.
you got up and you was able to walk to the chair. Now, did you question that chair to see if that chair was gonna hold you? No, you sat down in that
Right.
chair because you believed it was gonna hold you because every chair that your mama had put you in,
That's right. That's
it
right.
held you.
It
So
helps
when
you.
you got up and went to that chair, until it failed you, you was gonna have faith in that chair. And see, a lot of us we don't have that faith. You
Mm-mm.
know, we'll have faith in these bridges that we go across every day. We
You
have
right.
faith that bridge gonna hold us when we go out there and go across it. We don't second guess that bridge. We
Mm-hmm.
just get in that car and we just go on.
We just go. Yep.
We get on these airplanes. We don't have second thoughts about getting on these airplanes, these trains, these buses.
Mm-hmm.
We get on them. And we believe that they're gonna do what they're
What they're
supposed to
supposed
do
to
because
do.
that's what they're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we have enough belief to believe in that, but we don't have enough belief to believe in that that's in us.
It's in us.
The same man
Mm-hmm.
that created
Created all of these
all of that
things. Exactly.
created this.
Everything. Yep.
So if and you remember over in Genesis 2:7, he said he breathed that breath of life in
Life.
you.
Like yes. Yep.
So I keep telling people, if he breathed that breath of life into you, guess what? Huh? Everything you needed is in you.
Is in
You
me
don't need
already.
nothing else. He already
Mm-hmm.
deposited in you. So while you out here searching for something, just tap in.
That's it.
Tap
That's it.
in.
The treasure is
It's
already
already
within
in.
us. That's right.
It's
The treasure
there.
is always there. So it's already there. Yep. You're right. Yep. My bishop talk about that all the time. We already have what we need. It's in us. It's in us. It's just about activating it and using what we have
Exactly.
and stop worrying about and searching for other things. And we have what we have already right in front of us in us. Yep.
Well, I want you before you leave,
Hmm.
I want you to tell individuals how they can support you and how they can connect with you. Um, and we want to know what you're working on, what you got coming up, what you got going on. Um,
Okay. Well, for those of you who don't know, I'm also I am also a certified life coach, and I'm also a lupus and ADHD and emotional wellness advocate. Right. So I operate in those realms, but I focus just so people will know. So when you do join me in my inventions and different things that you'll understand what I'm actually doing. I mainly empower women, Christian women, believers who are going through a crisis within their illness, disease, like diagnosed with lupus, and at the same time they're raising a child with a chronic illness and navigate through those complexities, or a child with mental illness or mental challenges. I like to empower them because they're the moms, they're the caregivers, because this is where I was at. So, and overcame it. So I know God had put me there, but I feel that they suffer a lot with not understanding the importance of prioritizing their emotional wellness. We talk a lot about mental health and this health, that health. It all runs together. But your emotional healing, your emotional stability is what keeps your
mhm.
state of mind, right? We know God is our mind regulator, right? But what are those things you're supposed to be doing to prioritize? Many times I've suppressed my feelings, I suppressed my emotions, which also made me sick. These are things that the women, especially in the Black community, because we're trying to be so strong. So I just want to empower women to do better and to let them know the benefits of emotional intelligence and how this is a part of who we need to be in order to operate in the realm of our purpose and gain the hope and the joy of life again. So I have a YouTube channel. You can my YouTube channel, you can find me at Keisha Johnson McCrae. That's MCRAE. So Keisha is KISHA. Keisha Johnson McCrae. Just put that in YouTube and I'll come up in YouTube, and you'll see it'll say lupus and ADHD healing, emotional healing God's way. So you'll see and you'll know that's me. So you can help support me by subscribing and looking at the videos that I upload there. Also, you can find me on Facebook. I do have an emotional empowerment group on Facebook. You can also look me up, Akeisha Johnson McCrae, on Facebook. I'm sure I have it somewhere for y'all to find me. And if you're that woman that I'm talking to and that I'm able to help and I'm able to support emotionally, you'll be able to tap into my group. And right now, um, I'm right now I'm focused a lot, focused on my YouTube channel because I want to start a podcast there. Queen Pe- Queen Speak Life. That's KWEEN, Queen Speak Life, which stands for Kingdom Women Embracing Emotional Wellness. That's emotional newness. I'm sorry. That's a word KWEN the Lord gave me maybe about 10 years ago, and I'm just now kind of bringing it into fruition. So um that's something I'm working on now, that podcast now. You, when you join my channel, you'll also see that that podcast is starting on there. That's the start of it. That's the start of it. And I'm just trying to just pursue what God brings to my mind to do, right? But operate in my lane at the same time. But you could just Google Keisha Johnson McCrae, and because I Googled myself, so you could Google and I'll come up, and you can follow me wherever you see fit. I am on Google. So I mean, that's pretty much where you can follow me at. But I am also, like I said, want to work on my book. You all have really given me inspiration to do that. So I want to definitely be working on my book at this time. So just look out for Keisha Johnson McCrae. That's all I can say to you guys right now. And just thank you again, Queen Angela, for having me.
Well, we definitely gonna be looking out, and we definitely gonna be sharing whatever you do. We're definitely gonna be sharing. Y'all, I'm done. I'm done with school. So guess what? I got plenty of time on my hands. So y'all about to see a lot going on with everything that I got my hands in. I'm about to get really, really active. I'm about to revamp some things. I'm about to do some things. We about to get out and
Yes.
visit some places. Our first stop here for the AALAC is going to be here in East Point, Georgia, on April the 5th. We headed out to California. We're going to stop in Texas. We're gonna get around. We're gonna make our rounds to as many states and cities that we can, to be a blessing, to be able to share some of these authors. So I'm telling everybody, if you are a group leader, you are now on notice. You're not on notice because live events. I definitely think that we should be having a live event for all of us to come together.
Mm-hmm.
At least every 2 months. It's enough of us. It's 47 of us inside of the group right now. We
Okay.
we 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 got no 43. I'm sorry. It's 43 of us inside of the group right now, not including me. 44 including me.
Right. Right.
But there's enough of us to be hosting virtual and live events
Hmm.
on a constant basis.
Okay.
There it should be no lack because it's too many of us, and then we got too many in the same area. Like
Yes.
we have some we have it's about 4 or 5 of y'all, 6 of y'all in New
In
York.
New York. Okay.
Yes, you
Okay.
got Charlotte,
That's
you
Charlotte.
got
Yes.
Rolanda, you got um um Latoya.
Okay.
You got Sharice, Rolanda's niece, I think.
Okay.
And then you got
Yes.
who else is up there? I want to say it's 6 of y'all.
Well, I need to put that in the group. We definitely need to connect then. Yeah.
It's
Definitely.
6 of y'all.
Oh,
I know
sick.
for a
Okay.
fact. I know
In
it's
New
six of
York.
y'all.
Okay.
Rolanda,
Wow.
you, Charlotte, Sharice, Toya, and then somebody else. I don't know who that sixth person is, but it's 6 of y'all. I
There's
can't
six
remember
of
who
us.
that sixth person
Okay.
is. It is. It's got to be 6 of y'all. I'm trying to see.
And also, everybody, you can also reach me on Facebook. I also have an author page that I created, author Keisha Johnson McCrae. So you also can reach me there. There, my plans with that page is to have you experience my poetry and how I write. A lot of my poetry, I had stopped writing at one time because I felt my poems were too long, but the Lord let me know. But that's the way He created me to write. My poems tell a story. So more or less, when I write, I'm telling a story. So you'll get to experience a lot of my work there as well. So my plan is definitely to do more on that page as well.
Amen. And there is 6. I told you I found
It's
out.
6.
Her
Okay.
name, yes, her name is Sophia Shepherd.
Okay. So
And I may
they're
be
all in a
saying her
group.
I may be saying her name wrong.
Okay.
She's in your group. You her it's 3 of y'all in your group that's from New York.
What? Oh, with Charlotte?
You, Charlotte, and Sophana.
Oh.
Sophanie.
Okay.
Right, I think her name is Sophanie
Sophie.
Shepherd.
Okay.
She
Okay.
does she's a social worker. She
Okay.
does elderly she does elderly and she's an author. I think she's been
Okay.
yeah. But she's in New York.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
of them are in New York. And I think all of y'all may be in the same area.
Okay. Okay.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. She's in Brooklyn. I'm in the Bronx, but Brooklyn is not far.
I think
And
they're
Charlotte is
in
in the Bronx with me too.
I think I think Rolanda and what's the name of them? I think they stay in Brooklyn, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
Okay. Still close.
I don't know nothing about the boroughs. I just know
Oh
it's
yeah,
5 of
right.
them.
But we close. We close.
I just know,
We're
look,
close.
I know it's 5 of them,
Right.
but I don't know nothing about. And I'm ready to come to New York as an adult. I've
Yes.
never been to New York as an adult. I've been when I was younger. I actually have
Okay.
family that live up in the they live out of the state.
Probably
I forget
upstate.
what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Upstate New York. Mm-hmm.
but because that's where my dad's family that's where he was from. They were from
Okay.
New York.
Okay.
But yeah, but I thank you for stopping by and sharing with us.
I
I
thank
truly,
you.
truly have enjoyed it. I thank you. I truly do. Anytime you want to come by and share any updates, anything you
Yeah.
got going on, make sure to let me know. We are
Absolutely. We got
always here.
legacies. We got legacies to create here.
That's it.
Angela, you helping us create legacies. I got a grandbabies that I need long before when I'm gone. I need them to see what Grammy has done.
And that's
Right.
what we're supposed to do because he
Yes.
said we should do greater works.
That's
And
right.
they won't see those greater works if
No.
we don't leave the evidence of those greater works. So that's what we're here to do, leave the evidence so that people can have those blueprints so that they too can
Exactly.
do greater work. See, people been saying our ancestors, a lot of people been getting upset because they say they been getting offended because people been saying they not like their ancestors. Well, I'm
Mm.
not like my ancestors. You can get mad with me if you want,
Right.
because my
Right.
ancestors wanted me to be better. They wanted me to be better, and
Right.
I want the next group to be better. So they
Exactly.
paved the way so that I could do the things that I do. I don't discredit nothing that they done, don't downplay nothing that they done, because they had to do what they did in order for me to be able to do what I'm doing. So now I have to do what I'm doing so that they can do what they gonna
They
do
need to
in
do.
coming
That's right.
time.
That's
So
right.
I got to I got to lead them something. I
Yes.
got to do something
Absolutely.
greater than those that came
Absolutely.
before me.
That's
So
right.
we breaking those generational curses and
Curses.
we
That's right.
stepping
Praise
into
God.
our newness. So
Yes.
thank you
Thank
for
you for
stopping
having me.
by tonight and sharing with
Yes.
us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I want to thank everybody for stopping by and sharing. Before we leave, I want to give this queen a round of applause. Y'all know how we like to show our
Thank you.
thank you. And I hope you have a great rest of your evening.
You
Thank you for
too.
gracing the
Have a
platform.
blessed
Thank
one.
you for coming and sharing.
Thank you.
I hope you guys have been blessed by what you have heard on tonight. I tell you, I have truly, truly, truly been blessed. Y'all, please go over, support the things that she has going on. Stay connected to the 100 author movement, because I guarantee you will see that book drop in 2025. So be on the lookout because it's coming. Be my witness. I'm telling you, live and direct. 3/24/25. It's coming in 2025. Be on the lookout for Keisha Johnson McRae. Good night, y'all. Y'all be blessed.